Hey there, all you creepers and reapers. Welcome to another episode of the Femme Fatalities. I'm your co-hostess, Anna, and I'm here with...
Hey, Grieflings and Frightlings, it's Margaret. Today we're staying grounded in reality and bringing in a little bit of the mystical. Anna, what movie are we talking about?
Well, we are talking about the magical, mystical, real-life, whimsical death of a unicorn, which is great. And it's got some pretty known actors, Jenna Ortega, Paul Rudd. And it's definitely, I really enjoyed it. How about you, Margaret? Did you like it?
It was okay.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I still have scars from my childhood and the movie The Last Unicorn. I don't know if you ever saw it.
Is
Have
it,
you? It's
are you,
animated.
no, but, Legend with Tom Cruise, that was my unicorn movie. Tim Curry, Darkness, like that was, so I think my primary concern through the whole movie was, is the unicorn okay? Spoiler alert, the unicorn lives, because I was going to lose my mind if it didn't.
Yeah, I'm with you. The whole movie, I'm like, the unicorn better be okay.
Hmm.
It was a funny movie. Like, it
Yeah.
was entertaining. It was goofy.
Yeah. I was kind of like,
Yeah.
yeah. And I love that these unicorns were like badass too. Like I thought that was great. Um, Before we get too far into it, of course, there is potential animal death, illness, taking advantage of nature's resources, economic status, ethics versus morality. What else?
Drug use. Yeah, I think you touched on like taking advantage of nature, greed.
Hmm. Yeah. So, just a lot of the stuff you typically would expect to see in a movie like this. Spoiler alert, we will talk about some different stuff from the movie. If you haven't seen it yet, take a moment, go watch it, come back, or if you want to listen to us first, you are welcome to do so. Um, so yeah, we were actually just talking about what a far departure for Paul Rudd. Typically he plays, I guess what we would say, the good guy, and definitely he is trying to do what he thinks in his mind is right for his daughter. His wife has passed away because she had cancer, so daughter-father relationship has kind of crumbled. They're both grieving in different ways, and they are on their way up to his boss's home, who is this rich fellow who has a terminal illness, and lo and behold, he's not paying attention. Unicorn baby runs out and he hits it. So instead of calling for help or trying to assist the poor thing, he loads it into the back of his vehicle thinking it's dead to deal with it later. Which says a lot about his character to start with and how he works through problems or doesn't. So they get to the house. Lo and behold, baby unicorn is still kind of sort of alive at that point, and escapes the car. They get a hold of it, discover that the unicorn blood has some magical powers, and the scientists that are working there for the sick guy who is super, super loaded and rich start doing all of these different experiments, trying to remove the unicorn horn, and then all hell breaks loose because they're calling their rich friends, trying to get this on the medical market, and not caring what happens to this poor creature, except, well, baby unicorn has a mama and dada unicorn who turn into wild Jurassic style beasts that want vengeance and they want their baby back. And I have to say, I think that the kills in the movie are hilarious. They're super creative. I was incredibly amused. I thought it was great. And also, in this movie, the actor that plays Shepard, who's like the jerk idiot son, he always plays someone that you want to see it die in a movie. He was in Midsummer, and I was like, yes, he's dead. Good. In this movie, I'm like, get him. Because he's just like he's probably the nicest person in the world, like in reality, but the characters he picks are awful human beings. So yeah, that's the movie in a nutshell and my little rant about him. But I do think that this movie talks a lot about grief from a loss, also grief from an anticipated loss, like knowing that you're ill and you're not going to get better, and what measures you would take to keep going, and then how you would take advantage of that as you recover. And just, the human nature of sustaining ourselves, but not considering the resources that we potentially could be damaging. What's more important, living an ethical life or having the money? And just a lot of these kind of questions that I would hope many of us ask ourselves every now and then.
Yes. Ooh, thank you for the synopsis and touching on the big picture of the film, which really is how do we live in alignment with our resources where we don't burn out what we have, our natural resources. How are we taking care of nature? How are we living in relationship with nature before nature gets angry and comes and kills us? The grief themes, right? Like
Yeah.
losing a parent, or the ambiguous loss, or the anticipatory, not ambiguous, anticipatory loss with this dad. I also see the themes of parenting. We have the rich parents that completely enable their jerk son. Then we have Paul Rudd, who is horribly not doing a good job. I won't say he's failing, but he's trying to connect to his daughter. He's trying to take care of her and not doing it. He's thinking that she's going to need money, missing that she needs love. And then
Mm-hmm.
we have the unicorns, which really do embody that parental instinct. My baby's hurt. My baby needs me. I'm going to do whatever it takes to protect my child, which they do. And they were, yeah, the kills were great. The unicorns were fabulous in this movie. It was, yeah, it was different. I think when I
Yeah.
started it, it was not what I expected it to do. And I think we've touched on this. Sometimes you have to pivot if you go in, even if you go in
Yeah.
open minded, bless you, you're
Thank
still
you.
expecting something. And
Mm-hmm.
then when it's not that, you're kind of like, okay, wait, like I was, plus the whole movie. I think if I rewatched it, I'd like it more. The whole movie, I was worried about the baby unicorn, even though I read spoilers, because you know me, I have to know that. I'm like, my heart is breaking for this unicorn, this baby
Yeah.
unicorn. This is like torture for it. So if
Mm-hmm.
you are sensitive to animal cruelty, they are cruel to this baby unicorn. It is,
Yeah.
they torture it. They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
It's now a resource for
It
them
is.
to use to make themselves richer.
It's awful. Like the scene where they like start removing its horn, I'm like, no. And you're right.
Yes.
Like it is any type of like unicorn-esque film that you saw as a child. I think it brings back the trauma of seeing a beautiful creature lose its magic.
We could go back to the never ending story, which
Oh yeah.
isn't even a unicorn.
Mm-hmm.
The horror, oh my gosh, like right there.
Yeah.
So then I think you're like, no, I don't want an animal to die. This is horrible. And viewers, listeners, what for you? Maybe it wasn't a horse or a unicorn. What for you was that movie? Bless you, that broke your
Thank you.
heart, where an animal died and it changed your innocence as a child.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. Just what was yours? May I ask while we're on the
Yeah,
subject?
it was The Last Unicorn. That, so, or The Never Ending Story, those two. Yeah,
Yeah.
Legend was, it was, how old was I? I think it was sixth grade when I watched Legend, and that one was hard, but I also had my wisdom teeth out when we watched it. So I
Yeah.
was pretty numbed up. I was pretty
Mm-hmm.
drugged up. So I don't think it hit me as hard as the
Yeah.
other two. Because the Last Unicorn, that, oh, if you've watched it, viewers, listeners, let us know what you think of that one. heartbreaking, devastating, soul ripping. And you were
Well,
Legend, or was there another one?
well, Legend, I was just so fascinated by all of these like goblins and fairies and witches, and I just thought it was cool. And also, like, I think I was probably like 3 or 4 when my mom let me watch it. My parents let me watch a lot of things at a very young age that I probably shouldn't have. But I just remember, and still to this day, my favorite scene is when Darkness takes the princess and makes her evil, and I'm like, she just looks so much cuter. But I think for me it was still, every time I see it, will like tear up talking about it now, the scene with Charlie, All Dogs Go to Heaven. Like, it's still like, it's just, I think we all have that movie where it's just like, oh, it's so sad. And I think too, because most little kids have, that pet that dies. And oh god, in The Land Before Time, that was, remember we got the assignment that in thanatology where we had to watch like a kid's movie. I was like, holy shit, I can't watch any of these because I'm just gonna cry for 4 hours straight. Because it's like they're so 90s, they're so of the time, but like they're just so sad. And it's not even like real, but it is real, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
Land Before Time, thank you for bringing that one up. When we went to see the first Jurassic Park, or so Jurassic World at the theater,
Yeah.
and there's this scene, right, with all the long necks, I start tearing up because I'm thinking of the Land Before Time.
Yes.
I'm almost crying. I
Mm.
remember, no offense to my partner, he's like, are you seriously
Oh,
crying right now? Because I'm sure he's like, what the? And I'm like,
oh,
the long necks. And he didn't get
uh-huh.
it. So I'd be like, this was one of my kiddos' favorite movies. Like this. And
Yeah.
that's so, oh my God, Land Before Time. That's
Uh-huh. Well, and that's the same
heartbreaking.
Jurassic, when they're trying to get them away from the base and like the fire and the buildings and all those things, and you just see them, and I was in the theater bawling like a baby as well, because it was just so heartbreaking to see these like beautiful creatures, and because humans don't care, they have to die, and it's just really sad. And I think that really the death of the unicorn, like, it speaks to the worst things about humanity, which is greed and power and always wanting what we can't have. And um I think there's a lot of lessons to learn from that too. Like, you take the time to appreciate the beauty and magic in the world that already exists. Maybe some of those other things won't be so central to life. And also,
Yes. And
anyone who's listening to this, do not DM me that end scene from All Dogs Go to Heaven. Please do not. Because I will cry. I can't even think about it without crying because I'm a jerk. But please don't. It's
I feel
just,
like
it
you
is.
touch on this movie. Yes. Like,
Oh, go ahead.
this
I'm sorry. What were
movie, that I would say, I feel like you touch on how this movie pulls at how, as humans, our humanity for some of us really is with the animals. We don't want to see an animal
you?
suffer. We don't want to see an animal die. And so the creators were like, okay, I'm going to take that and I'm going to see if you can then start to apply this to how do you
Mm-hmm.
take care of your planet so you aren't
Yeah.
facilitating animal death. You aren't doing this because oftentimes, like, you get on social media and they'll ask somebody, would you rather kill a dog or 3 humans? So many people are like, oh, 3 people. Or have you seen the little
Right?
girl where they're like, you have 3 dogs, you have to get rid of one. What do you have? Like, it was trying to do a math problem. She's like, 3 dogs. And they keep asking, she goes, 3 dogs in a body. Like, it's that, like, saying, like, I'm not,
Yeah.
like, how
That's
are
fun.
we, like, so I appreciate this movie being like, how,
Yeah.
if you love animals and this is so heartbreaking for you, how are you taking care of your environment? Because
Mm-hmm.
it animals are dying.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's a really great piece that, and, I think the other thing too is, this man is so wrapped up in sustaining his life and regaining his health and youth, but at the end, he dies anyway, right? So, one thing to remember is we are all going to die. And it's what you do right now, today, that matters. Don't worry so much about tomorrow, because tomorrow's going to come and go, whether you're here to see it or not. But what you have is right now, today.
Yes. Oh, thank you for reminding people you are going to die. So, how are you living your best life in an ethical and mindful way? So we can see Paul Rudd's arc where in the beginning you're like, oh, he's not a very likable dad. He's like disconnected. And then we learn he's really trying, he is misguided in what he thinks is important. And at the end, where he's like, no, my daughter's important, our relationship to the environment. And spoiler alert, so stop now. I actually love the ending of this movie, like right where they're being hauled off by the police and the unicorns are like, oh no, no.
Yeah. It was great. Yeah, I thought it was really, to me, I thought it was cute. And it was a good watch. And I think that it's just something different and unique and kind of mystical. And if you're in the mood for that, I would highly recommend it.
Yes. Yeah, I think on rewatch I will probably like it better. So this is definitely a rewatch. And I appreciate like how you went in and you loved it. And hopefully viewers, listeners, Anna and I both challenge each other. We both have movies that one of us really liked and the other one's like, I don't know. And then we go back and we rewatch it with fresh eyes and it's like, oh, okay, I actually appreciate this more. I like it more. And sometimes we're like, no, that was a one and done, or no, I can't do that. So I feel like as Anna's like, no, I'm like, I feel like I was so worried about the unicorn, even with spoilers on this, that and as a therapist, I knew I couldn't be present. And like, I have enough awareness of my own nervous system and mental state. I couldn't be present because I was like, oh my gosh, this baby unicorn. So now going back, I'm like, okay, like it's all good. Parent unicorns rescue. They save the day.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, and I do have to ask, who in this movie do you most relate to?
Probably Jenna Ortega's character. I'm the one that wants to be doing the research and being like, look at what I learned, and this is da 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 da, and feeling like, I think oftentimes, depending on our circumstances, we're around people that are not invested or that only get invested for their own personal gain, especially when I was younger in life. Now I feel like I work really hard to cultivate relationships where I could be like, oh my gosh, Anna, I went down this crazy rabbit hole. Are you in a place for me to explain it? And then she can be like, yes or no. Right? And not those where people that try to exploit you. Oh, you did this and I want the information. How about you?
I would say the the parent unicorn, just because it's more of like, you mess with my family, you're gonna get the horn. Like, just that's who I relate to the most. I think the unicorn family, because it's that, and then also I feel like sometimes when I'm out in nature, I totally forget that the world exists. So I'm like the baby unicorn. I'm like, I'm just gonna run across the street, live my little life, and then it's like, oh gosh, there's oncoming traffic, and like, it just happens. You know what I mean? So I don't know.
Yes.
I think definitely the creatures, the little critters. Yeah, but it was great. If you've seen, it was, I just, if would you have a unicorn as a pet?
No, I'd keep it wild. I might go feed it sometimes. I might buy, if I had access to that kind of resource, just a huge piece of land so it could do its thing. How about you?
Yeah, I'd probably like throw apples out in the field for it or something, or I guess carrots, because they're probably sort of like horses. Yeah, and like leave food out for it, but that'd be about it. Make sure like it had water. Make sure like there was like a little safe area if I had land, as you said, and like it was bad weather or something, but I wouldn't keep it as a pet. Yes, and if you want us to talk about like some of these other movies, like we've referenced The Never Ending Story, Legend, The Last Unicorn, please don't ask me to watch The Land Before Time or How Dogs Get Heaven. Actually, The Last Unicorn might be a bit gut wrenching as well. So if you want us to talk about The Never Ending Story or Legend, let us know. Or if there's any other movies that hit you in a certain way from your childhood that you'd want us to take a look at, we would love to share it with us. Please let us know. And in the meantime, just make sure that you eat your coffin cookies, drink your bruja brew, and howl at the moon. And please don't forget,
Like, subscribe, follow. Thank you for watching and listening.
bye. Woohoo!